When we look up at the night sky, we often see a bright disk shining down on us. This familiar sight is the moon, Earth's only natural satellite. But how much do we really know about our celestial companion? In this video, we'll take a closer look at the moon, exploring its size, surface features, orbit and phases, as well as its influence on our planet and the many missions that have explored this fascinating world. So let's get started. The moon is the fifth largest natural satellite in the solar system. It ranks smaller than Ganymede, which is Jupiter's largest moon, Titan, Saturn's largest moon, Callisto, another of Jupiter's moons, and Io, yet another one of Jupiter's moons. If the moon were to disappear, Earth would be an entirely different planet. Without the moon's gravitational pull, Earth's oceans would have tides, and our planet might not even be able to support life as we know it. Despite its importance to our planet, the moon remains an enigmatic world that scientists are still trying to understand. In this video, we'll explore everything from the moon's formation to its orbit around Earth, its surface features, and the many missions that have explored this mysterious world. The moon is thought to have formed about 4.5 billion years ago, when Earth was still very young. Scientists believe that a Mars-sized object known as Theia collided with Earth. The impact was so violent that it blasted rock and dust into space, which eventually formed a thin, hot layer around Earth. Over time, this layer cooled and hardened, forming the moon. Evidence for this theory includes the fact that the moon's composition is very similar to Earth's mantle and that its orbit is slightly tilted compared to Earth's. The moon is about 384,400 kilometers from Earth. It takes the moon approximately 27 days to orbit Earth. Once, or roughly every 27 days, the moon rotates on its axis, which also takes approximately 27 days. Because the moon's rotation and orbit around Earth are synchronized, we always see the same side of the moon from Earth. However, the moon does have different faces that we can see depending on how much of it is illuminated by the sun. These are known as the moon's phases. As the moon orbits Earth, the amount of sunlight reflected off its surface changes, giving it a different appearance each night. A new moon occurs when the moon is between Earth and the sun, and we can't see any of it because the illuminated side is facing away from us. As the moon continues its orbit, we start to see more and more of the illuminated side, until we reach a full moon when the entire disk of the moon is illuminated by the sun. After the full moon, the illuminated portion begins to shrink again until we reach a new moon, and the cycle starts anew. It typically takes about 27 days for the moon to go through all of its phases. The moon's surface is covered in craters, mountains, and vast plains, called maria, which are formed by ancient volcanic activity. Craters are caused by asteroids or other objects that collide with the moon's surface. Some of the largest craters include Tycho, which is 86 kilometers across and less than 3 billion years old, and Copernicus, which is 93 kilometers across and also less than 3 billion years old. The moon's mountains are mostly made up of ancient igneous rock, and some of them reach heights of over 3,000 meters. The maria are vast, dark-colored plains that cover much of the moon's surface. They were formed by ancient volcanic eruptions that occurred billions of years ago. The moon's crust is also dotted with lighter-colored areas known as the highlands. These areas are heavily cratered, indicating that they are much older than the maria. The moon doesn't have an atmosphere like Earth, so there's no air or oxygen on its surface. There's also no liquid water on the moon, although there may be ice hidden in some of the permanently shadowed areas at the poles. Without an atmosphere, the moon is constantly bombarded by meteoroids, which can leave behind fresh craters. The lack of atmosphere also means that there is no weather on the moon, and temperatures can range from 100 degrees Celsius during the day to minus 100 degrees Celsius at night. The moon's gravity is about 1/6 of Earth's gravity, meaning that astronauts can jump much higher on the moon than on Earth. However, the moon's gravity is still strong enough to hold on to a thin atmosphere of mostly helium and neon, which is called an The moon is tidally locked to Earth, meaning that one side of the moon always faces us. This is because the gravitational forces between the two planets have caused the moon to settle into a stable orientation in orbit. The moon plays an important role in stabilizing Earth's axial tilt, and also affects the length of our days. The moon's gravitational pull is the main cause of Earth's ocean tides. As the moon orbits Earth, its gravity pulls on the ocean water, causing it to bulge out on the side facing the moon. This bulge is what we experience as high tide. On the opposite side of Earth, the water bulges out less due to centrifugal force, which is caused by Earth's rotation. We experience these bulges in ocean water as high tides, while the areas in between them experience low tides. The moon is also responsible for some of the most beautiful natural phenomena on Earth, such as halos, which are rings of light that appear around the sun or moon. Halos are caused by ice crystals in the atmosphere that refract the light, creating a 22-degree angle around the sun or moon. The moon also causes another optical phenomenon known as moondogs, which are bright spots that appear on the ground next to the sun or moon. Moondogs are caused by the refraction of light through ice crystals in the atmosphere, and they typically appear as two spots, one on either side of the moon, The moon has been a source of wonder and inspiration for humans for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations developed calendars based on the moon's phases and used it as a guide for planting crops and predicting the weather. In many cultures, the moon is associated with magic and mystery, and it's often featured in mythology and folklore. The moon has also inspired some of the greatest works of art, literature, and music throughout history. From classical paintings to modern songs, the moon's beauty and mystique have captured the human imagination for centuries. Humans have been exploring the moon for decades, beginning with the first spacecraft to fly by it in the 1950s. Since then, we've sent dozens of spacecraft to study the moon up close. The first humans to set foot on the moon were Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who landed there on December 1969 during NASA's Apollo 11 mission. Between 1969 and 1972, a total of 12 astronauts from NASA's Apollo program walked on the moon. The last mission to land astronauts on the moon was Apollo 17. In December 1972, there are plans for future crewed missions to the moon, including NASA's Artemis program, which aims to establish a sustainable presence on the lunar surface. The study of the moon is important because it provides us with clues about the early history of Earth and the solar system. By studying the moon's composition and structure, scientists can learn about the conditions that existed when Earth was forming. The moon is also a valuable resource for scientific research and exploration. Its surface is an ideal location for placing spacecraft and conducting experiments, and it could potentially provide resources for future human settlements. The moon's lack of atmosphere and magnetic field makes it vulnerable to solar radiation, which can damage electronics and spacecraft. As a result, spacecraft that land on the moon must be carefully designed to withstand radiation and function properly in its harsh environment. The moon is a truly fascinating world that continues to captivate humans today. From its mysterious origins to its influence on Earth and the challenges of exploring its hostile surface, the moon is a constant reminder of the wonders that exist beyond our planet. Whether you're an amateur astronomer or a seasoned scientist, the moon is sure to remain a source of fascination for years to come. So the next time you look up at the night sky and see the familiar face of the moon, take a moment to appreciate the incredible world that exists beyond our own. You may just learn something new and inspiring about the universe and our place within it.